Chapter 141 How dare he resist? Of course, before that, he still asked Gills, who had already researched those things, to hand over those materials again. It's not worth it to offend a emperor for no reason like this. But if he handed over these things, if the other party still has to entangle, then don't blame him. It's a big fight. Besides, it's not that he doesn't have a backstage, he's really pressing him, it's just exposing his identity. Wano-kuni. Natsu, the Thunder Hunter. How dare you rob us of our things? It seems that it needs a good beating, otherwise, these newcomers feel that they can turn the world upside down. And this guy Doflamingo is just trash. It is also known as the king of underground trading, but even a newbie can't solve it. It's really useless. Since that's the case, let's do it ourselves. Kaido sat on the ground and said with a look of contempt. Master Kaido, I don't know who you plan to send to solve this matter. After all, the Thunder Hunter defeated Doflamingo, and his strength should not be underestimated. Now asked by Kaido, the first of the three plagues, Fire Calamity. Jin is a tall, muscular man with an even stature. He was wearing a mask and a helmet with goggles, black clothes, a pair of black feathered wings behind him, a treasured knife hanging from his waist, and flames lingering on his body. Zone Dragon Fruit, ancient species, toothless pterosaur form ability. Let me go and watch me take him back to Kaido for disposal. It's just a newcomer, it won't take long. One of the three disasters, Drought Jack opened his mouth and said. What, Mr. Jack, you have to go out in person, why do you need to dispatch that kind of newcomer yourself, you must look down on him too much. A pirate from the 100 Beasts Pirates looked at Jack in surprise and said. Let me go, Master Jack is too talented to go. He's just a little rookie, how dare he resist our beast pirates? A man who looked like a cat said. His biggest feature is not his appearance, but that he wears a belt around his waist that wraps the lion's head and forelimbs, which looks extremely weird. And, most importantly, the lion on his belt can talk and live. His name is Hold'em, and he's one of Drought Jack's real hitters. Are you going? Hearing this, Jack glanced at Hold'em, then shook his head and refused. You will die miserably, this newcomer is not as simple as you think. He's not the kind of person who's going to get caught just because he hears you're from the Beast Pirates. Besides, the reason why I want to go by myself is because this time, I have no intention of staying alive at all. If you dare to touch Lord Kaido's things, let him pay for it with his life. Jack squinted his eyes, and a powerful breath burst out from his body, which was terrifying. He continued, if we don't let the pirates in this world know about the serious consequences of touching the things of our four emperors, how can they fear us, and how can we maintain our majesty? Hearing Jack's words, Hold'em couldn't help shivering, and nodded quickly. Yes, yes, this subordinate's thinking is too simple, Lord Jack. Jack, you can go, but I have to remind you, you must not underestimate that guy. If you can't deal with that guy by yourself, we will lose the face of the Beast Pirates. Yan Zonjing opened his mouth and warned out, let Jack not underestimate the enemy. Start a pair of writing wheels, pirates, start with a pair of writing wheels. 38kanshu.com has the fastest update speed. Chapter 142 The limit increase, 10 times. Don't worry, Brother Jin, I won't underestimate that guy. Just wait for me to bring that guy's head back. After speaking, Jack stood up and set off. And Kaido, all the while just watching. If he doesn't object, it means he agrees. Fufufu, did you actually send an existence like Drought Jack? It's enough to look down on him. In that case, let me help you, Thunder Hunter, you will surely die miserably. Doflamingo is naturally well informed in intelligence work. After learning that it was Drought Jack himself, he also started his own actions. He directly used the authority in his hand to mobilize the battle power of the world's main government, CP0, and 5 Vice Admiral to hunt down Shajirching. Of course, all this is based on the fact that Shajirching can escape from Jack's hands. If he can't escape, then treat him as nothing. Kaido shouldn't think so highly of me, send out the 3 disasters. Just when Jack was dispatched, Shajirching suddenly felt a faint heartbeat, which made him a little panic. For no reason, how could I suddenly feel this way? It seems that I have to fill the state of the writing wheel. In case of an accident, this will be my life-saving charm. After the battle with Doflamingo, he probably figured out the limit of his right eye ability, Agena. 10 times. It can increase his full attributes tenfold. The attack power of the trick can also be increased tenfold. Although the tenfold increase in all attributes does not mean that the strength will also increase tenfold. However, this can still make his strength skyrocket. If he has a tenfold increase now, he will even dare to fight against Marine Admiral, and he is sure that even Marine Admiral will not be able to keep him. Moreover, the ability of the kaleidoscope to write round eyes is already so powerful. He is very curious how unbelievable the ability of the eternal kaleidoscope to write round eyes must be. Shajirching is looking forward to the eternal kaleidoscope. Before waiting for Kaido and the others to arrive, Shajirching also split up a shadow clone and went to Alabasta near Little Garden in the first half of the Great Route. The purpose of going to Alabasta is very simple, to establish the first large-scale business partner. Before their summer chamber of commerce, there were a lot of users, but they lacked large-scale business partners, but Shajirching really didn't have time at that time, so she put it on hold. Now that there is time, of course not to fall. In Shajirching's mind, in a country like Alabasta, the demand for weapons, medicines, and even other items should not be small. Even if Alabasta is not interested in weapons and medicines, he is always interested in fresh water. If he remembers correctly, Alabasta has been infiltrated by Crocodile, and under his control, freshwater resources are very scarce. The result was not as Shajirching expected, and the cooperation matters went smoothly. King Cobra of Alabasta signed a cooperation contract with Shajirching very satisfied. The scope of cooperation includes fresh water, medicines, weapons, etc. At the same time, Alabasta's special items are also distributed to the whole world through the hands of Shajirching. Win-win cooperation for both parties. But just as Shajirching's clone successfully completed the task of this large order and was about to return, his way forward was blocked. Start a pair of writing wheels, pirates, start with a pair of writing wheels. 38kanshu.com has the fastest update speed. Chapter 143 Crocodile. Crocodile, I don't know what you mean by blocking my way. Shajirching looked at Crocodile with a cigar dangling in front of him, with a big back, a long scar on his face, and an arrogant face, showing a playful smile. Thunder Hunter, you suddenly set foot on Alabasta, what do you want to do? Do you also fancy something in Alabasta? Crocodile looked at Shajirching vigilantly, and asked the gate of opening directly. Oh, fancy something from Alabasta. Then why don't you know that you are the dignified Shichibukai? Why are you willing to be the patron saint of Alabasta? Shajirching revealed a more meaningful smile when she heard the words, looking at Crocodile and said. You also fancy that thing. Do you want to compete with me? Hearing this, Crocodile's eyes instantly became sharp, and he even released a murderous aura. What if I say yes? After all, anyone would want that kind of thing. Shajirching's smile became more and more reckless, even with a strong provocation. You are courting death. Crocodile, who is known as the 5-5 in the world of pirates, how could a newcomer like Shajirching provocate himself? Desert Diamond Sword. He saw that he turned his hands into 4 large sand blades, exuding an extremely sharp breath, and slashed towards Shajirching. Susanoo. Susanoo appeared in his original form, and he drew his sword and blocked Crocodile's attack. But the power of this blow was so powerful that Susanoo in his initial form cracked a few traces at once. The sharp breath exploded, and the surrounding earth was torn open with several shocking wounds at once. Shajirching couldn't help Vivi's surprise, and said in his heart, it's Shichibukai, really amazing. Illusion. Fox's heart trick. The kaleidoscope writing wheel eye activating the illusion is naturally much stronger than the Sango jade. You can't kill with one hit against Doflamingo's illusion, but not with Crocodile. Crocodile's body trembled suddenly, and his pupils were a little dilated. Chance. Shajirching thought of a good opportunity, covered armament hockey on the Susano long sword, and stabbed fiercely with swordsmanship. Desert sword. But just when this blow was about to stab Crocodile, he broke free from the fox's mind and launched a counterattack. It became the ground beneath Susano's feet, and suddenly a blazing sand sword sprinted diagonally, cutting Susano into two pieces. Little devil, don't think that you can be arrogant in front of this old man by defeating that fellow heavenly yaksha. Desert is my absolute domain. Crocodile waved his hand, his face full of disdain, and shouted, "Desert sunflower." The next second, the ground beneath his feet suddenly collapsed. Then, it flowed very fast. Susano and Shajirching immediately fell into it, and the next moment, most of the body was swallowed up in an instant. Goodbye, kid. Crocodile looked at the desert sunflower who couldn't break free from the quicksand trap, and his face was full of contempt. Start a pair of writing wheels, pirates, start with a pair of writing wheels. 38kanshu.com has the fastest update speed. Chapter 144. Are you kidding me? He waved his hand and shouted, "Desert King Kong sword." The four sand blades, which were so fierce that they could even cut through steel, slashed directly at Susano's body, tearing them apart. PFF'd. Susano was torn apart, but there was no trace of Shajirching. Crocodile was startled and looked up quickly, only to see Shajirching standing in the sky on the moon step, pointing his index finger at him, his whole body exuding terrifying lightning. Chidori's spear. A light like thunder gun pierced through Crocodile's chest, and Crocodile couldn't help shrinking his pupils. He turned out to be completely elemental. Wow! The terrifying thunder and lightning entangled his entire body at once, causing him to let out a scream. Little devil, don't be too proud of me. Heavyweight Salon. But Crocodile is Crocodile after all. Even if Shajirching's whole body was upgraded again, and the lightning attack had reached 30 million volts, he still launched a counterattack against Shajirching. Boom! He saw that he threw a tiny sandstorm that was spinning at a very high speed, and it turned into a sandstorm in an instant, with the power of violently tearing everything apart. Moreover, there was a heavy breath that swept the sand in all directions, the thunder gun shattered instantly, and Shajirching was also swept in. Susano. Where did Shajirching dare to neglect? He immediately entered the strongest state. Puff puff. This Shalan was so terrifying that even the mature Susano made some slight cracking sounds. And some feeling of standing unsteady, about to be rolled out. One knife flow, flying flow. Chakra erupted, 8 knives came out, and 8 domineering chakra energy sword waves were split, and the Shalan was torn apart in an instant. Crocodile, take my trick. The 8 knives, wrapped in supreme power, collapsed into the air and fell. Little devil, don't be too proud of me. Crocodile only felt that his scalp was numb and his body was cold. This blow made him feel like he would be killed on the spot. But as a hero, how could he possibly admit defeat, use all his power again, and smash out the Desert King Kong sword? PFF'd. But it turned out to be one-sided, and Crocodile's 4 sand blades shattered instantly. Several hideous wounds were torn open on his chest, dripping with blood. Crocodile is down. He said very unwillingly. I actually lost to a kid like you. Who? Shajirching lifted Susano, panted and came to Crocodile, jokingly said, Crocodile, it seems that I am slightly better in the end. Hey, if you want to kill or cut, don't talk so much, let's do it. Crocodile didn't talk nonsense at all, just closed his eyes and begged to die. He, killing you won't do me any good. Don't worry, I'm not interested in Pluto, who is interested in you. Shamuyang left directly, and left a sentence that made Crocodile want to vomit blood. You are not interested in Hades, you are so arrogant, and you deliberately provoke me. The result beat me, give me a sentence that you are not interested. What is the difference between this and the young couple when everything is ready, but the woman says, my relatives are here. Certainly, this can't be for nothing, crocodile, be mine. Shajirching suddenly turned around in the distance, looked at Crocodile with an angry and gloomy face, and said, start a pair of riding wheels, pirates, start with a pair of riding wheels. 38kanshu.com has the fastest update speed. Chapter 145. Stay tuned. Do you think it's possible? Crocodile growled. Who is he? Crocodile, a hero of a generation, one of the smartest people in the sea, let him be someone else's subordinate, dream. Being rejected by Crocodile, Shajirching was not annoyed, and said, join me under my command, I can give you a chance to challenge Whitebeard. Give up your idea of stealing Hades, you won't succeed. If you become One Piece King of Pirates only by this means, the 4 emperors of the New World will not be able to recognize you. What if Pluto has the power to instantly destroy an island? Which of the 4 emperors does not have this ability? Besides, there are so many silver medalists in the New World Ocean, do you think others will stand and be beaten by you when they are fighting with you? After listening, Crocodile's face suddenly became even more gloomy. His eyes even became very dangerous. He said, how do you know my dreams and plans? You won't have a spy next to me. Crocodile was really shocked. His plan was completely revealed by Shajirching. The point is, make no difference. I know more things. How about, join me? Anyway, you are responsible for the transaction of this alabasta. Shajirching asked with a smile on his face. Well, let's wait until I fail, and I'll let you know that there's absolutely no problem with my plan. Crocodile snorted coldly, still insisting on his own ideas. What a stubborn crocodile. Okay, then I'll wait and see. When you fail, I will come back. When that happens, you must never refuse again. After listening to Crocodile's answer, Shajirching was surprised by 3 points and 7 points. Goodbye, Sand Crocodile. Shajirching left. When he left, he whispered, after 4 years, you will know that your plan is impossible to successfully implement. Because there is a young man with a gluten that will stop you. How on earth did this guy know about my plan? Crocodile thought in his heart after Shajirching left. His eyes are very dangerous. His first thought was a traitor. Otherwise, Shajirching had never met him before, how could he know his complete plan? But thinking about it again, he felt that it could not be the problem of the traitor, because all his subordinates did not know all his plans. Then how on earth did he know? Rao is Crocodile, so I can't help but be a little confused. Near the sea where Shajirching lives. Several warships stopped here silently. There are 5 vice admiral in marine robes standing on the boat. If Shajirching is here, he will find the marine vice admiral he knows here. Are we really going to watch the Thunder Hunter fight Kaido's men without taking the initiative to capture that guy? The vice admiral at the end said a little unwillingly. The order we received is to wait and see first, and wait for an opportunity if Ching Ching escapes us. We take it as our duty to obey orders, wait. Hearing this, Vice Admiral, the headquarters of the commander-in-chief of this operation, standing at the forefront, Momonga said in a muffled voice. It's abominable, obviously that guy is right in front of you, but you can't catch it. What the hell is the world's official government thinking? The Marine said just now, quite unwilling. Start a pair of riding wheels, pirates, start with a pair of riding wheels. 38kanshu.com has the fastest update speed. Chapter 146. You are dead. What? Megan's Vice Admiral wants to disobey the orders of the world's official government. A member from the world's official spy fighting agency CP0 made fun of him. Hey, don't worry, don't bother the adults in the world to remind me, I know it. Hearing this Vice Admiral named Megan snorted coldly and said in a rather unkind tone. It's good to know. It seems that Megan's Vice Admiral has some ideas in his heart. The CP0 said again. They're coming. At this time, Vice Admiral Momonga and another CP0 with a red mask said. Then, the CP0 member with the red mask said again, Megan's Vice Admiral, we belong to the Sky People, not the world government. Please keep this in mind, don't make a mistake. What's the use of talking about this now? Just concentrate on the battle situation, the mission is important. Momonga cast a glance at the red mask CP0 member next to her, and her tone was not good. Many people in their marine didn't have much affection for Tenryubito. It's just that Tenryubito was born to be Marine's superior, so they could only obey. Momonga is the commander-in-chief, he opened his mouth to maintain it, and the red-faced mask CP0 didn't say anything. It's finally here, then, is it fighting or returning the items to solve the problem? Shajirching stood on the sha-sha, looking at Jack's car driving from a distance, and thought so in her heart. Jack and the others soon arrived before the arrival of the summer ship. There was a crowd of people with weird outfits on the boat. Taking a closer look, it is Jack who looks the most normal. Yo, what kind of wind blows Mr. Jack? One of the three disasters, the drought. As an opening, Shajirching of course pretended not to know anything. Thunder Hunter, what have you done? Do you have no points in your heart? I don't want to talk nonsense with you. Today, I will use your life to make everyone in the world understand what kind of fate it is for someone who dares to covet the four emperors. Jack didn't want to push Shajirching too much, and it could be said that he didn't want to talk nonsense at all, because it didn't make any sense at all. Can't we really talk about it? You have to do something to solve the problem. Can't I return the things that belong to you that I accidentally intercepted? Hearing that Jack was going to kill himself, Shajirching said with a panic expression. HMPH, I'm scared now, what did I do then? It's too late now. Hearing this, Jack snorted coldly and ruthlessly rejected Shajirching's request. HMPH, it's just a newcomer, I really don't know where you got the courage to provoke our beast pirates. Next, we will destroy all your partners. The corner of Hold'em's mouth behind Jack said with a contemptuous arc. That's right, a mere rookie who dares to provoke our beast pirates. It's really self-defeating. Hold'em's other comrades also answered immediately. Up. Fire and sink them for me. Jack gave the order to attack. Gia, Thunder Hunter, welcome your death. As soon as Jack gave the order to attack, his men immediately became excited. Someone drove the rudder, and it has crashed away. Someone manipulated the fort and bombarded it away. Some people put down the boat directly, wanting to land on the summer ship, and directly occupy the summer ship. Start a pair of riding wheels, pirates, start with a pair of riding wheels. 38kanshu.com has the fastest update speed. Chapter 147 Jack of Ultimate Power. Since we don't have to talk about it, let's not talk about it. Enel, Anna, Zephyru, Tezzolo, let them see our strength. If you want to fight, Shajirching is not afraid. Since Jack doesn't give him a chance to talk, let's talk with his fists, who is afraid of who? If he hadn't opened Sharingan before and didn't have so many partners, he would still be a little flustered. But now, he doesn't panic at all. Whether it's Enel, Tezzolo, or Anna, they're all good at fighting. Enel even has the ability to make him play stably and completely destroy Jack and the others. What is Shajirching afraid of? Susanoo. Shajirching opened the kaleidoscope writing wheel, and directly entered the mature state of Susanoo. In an instant, Shajirching stood on Susanoo, who was more than 30 meters high, and rushed directly to Jack. As for the rest, leave it to Enel. HMPH, when I'm as weak as Doflamingo, kid, let you know how big the difference in strength between me and Doflamingo is. Seeing Shajirching rushing towards him, Jack snorted disdainfully, pulled out his two large, sickle-shaped knives, shotter knives, and slashed towards Susanoo. In terms of strength, Jack admires Kaido, Fire Calamity and a few others, and the rest are completely ignored by him. He is Jack, strong in defense and powerful, even Marine Admiral dares to fight and supports Shajirching in a mere way. What is there to be afraid of? Boom. Susanoo, who was more than 30 meters tall, was shocked back the moment he and Jack met. PFF'd. Shajirching spat out a mouthful of blood with a horrified face. Jack's power was completely beyond his expectations. He always thought that the Three Disasters level, the strength is similar to Doflamingo. However, when it comes to the real fight, this is not the case at all. This guy's power is almost comparable to Doflamingo's strongest blow with 16 sacred bullets. God killed him. However, Shajirching is so embarrassed, Jack is not much better. The ship under his feet exploded directly, and he himself was shaken back 2 steps, nearly 10 meters away. Okay, no wonder you can beat Doflamingo, you still have some strength, come again. Jack took a heavy step, like a mountain, and crashed into it. Akina. In the face of such a terrifying Jack, Shajirching naturally did not dare to neglect. Immediately increased his strength, he was afraid that this was not enough, and covered the surface of Susanoo with a layer of lightning. This is what he has researched in the past 2 days, and it can enhance a lot of defense. Boom. It was another blow to touch, the sea under Shajirching's feet exploded directly, and the terrifying waves completely drowned Jack's subordinates, Enel and others. Boom. Boom. The two of them were completely indistinguishable. Shajirching, who had touched each other, glanced at Jack's force value, which was as high as 360. 6 years ago, his force value was as high as 360. 6 years later, 2 years after the plot started, how strong was he when he landed on Zou Island? Shajirching thought in shock. As expected of the Three Disasters, it really is different. Shajirching is running the writing wheel with all his strength, urging Ajina to the limit, and increasing all his attributes. Not only strength, speed, sword intent, all increase. Start a pair of writing wheels, pirates, start with a pair of writing wheels. 38kanshu.com has the fastest update speed. Chapter 148. Jack is shocked. He and Jack fought faster and faster, and the fight became more and more intense. Terrifying sparks kept splashing, and a wave of terrifying waves kept splashing out. This guy is able to fight evenly with Lord Jack, he is so strong. Just kidding, how could this guy fight so fiercely with Lord Jack, and not lose the wind? The group of Jack's subordinates really watched this scene and couldn't believe it. When they wanted to come, it was not easy for Jack to clean up a newcomer like Shajirching. The battle between Jack and Shajirching can't be any accident at all. The final winner is definitely Jack. Jack's power, apart from Kaido and Queen, no one can confront him head-on. But now, Shajirching is not at all disadvantaged in the fight against Jack. How is this possible? They couldn't believe what their eyes were seeing. Ha ha ha, isn't this a normal thing? That's the man I admit to Enel, the man who pulled me off the altar. Enel couldn't stop laughing at this scene. If he didn't have this strength, I would have turned him away long ago. HMPH, what about the Three Disasters? Now your strength has not reached the peak moment at all. And he is a very unpredictable man. It's not easy to beat him. Tezzolo manipulated going, completely playing his opponent as a monkey, very at ease. If Lord Nachi is not absolutely sure, how could he be here waiting for you to come to your door? Is it really because Lord Shajirching is afraid of the power of your 4 emperors? Anna looks like a queen, she can switch between ooze and hard soil freely, making the enemy really suffer. Even Zephyru and Zoro teamed up to be able to deal with a real fight. Ha ha ha, okay, so this is the strength of the Three Disasters, so it is so, come again. Come again. Shajirching's whole body seemed to be completely obsessed, with huge chakra erupting all over his body, and the writing wheel was turning rapidly, and Susanoo's movements became smoother and more flexible. The power exerted is also getting bigger and bigger. Jack is getting more and more frightened. Before coming here, he never thought that Shazher Ching's strength would be so powerful, and he couldn't help it. Before, in his eyes, Shazher Ching was just a newcomer, and he could solve him with a little seriousness. But now it seems that whether he can do anything to Shazher Ching is a question. How powerful is this guy? Wasn't the guy who defeated Doflamingo a few days ago seriously injured? Why can't he be with me now? Jack roared like this in his heart. From the beginning, he was full of confidence and calm, and now he has become more and more violent, and his moves are a lot messier. How could he know that after the battle between Shazher Ching and Doflamingo, he was indeed hit hard, but after he recovered, his force value also soared by 5 points. And now, under his strong oppression, the increase of Shazher Ching's Akina is also on the rise, and has almost reached 2.5 times. Coupled with the continuous proficiency in Susanoo's drills and the coverage of the lightning strike armor, various factors have been combined to create this result. Start a pair of writing wheels, pirates, start with a pair of writing wheels. 38kanshu.com has the fastest update speed. Chapter 149 Shocking Record, Jack lost. Jack, what's the matter, are you starting to fail? Shazher Ching suddenly mocked, which made Jack explode. Bastard, how dare you underestimate me, I'm Drought Jack. How could Jack allow himself to be underestimated by a little brat, and suddenly roared. Get angry, it's in my best interest. Seeing Jack was angry, and his strength suddenly increased. Not only did Shazher Ching not show a dignified expression, but instead, he showed a smile of a successful conspiracy. Spiritual shock. The spiritual impact released by Kaleidoscope Shaker is naturally stronger than Sengo Jade, because it has been increased by 2.5 times. Jack couldn't help groaning immediately, and the whole person stepped back on the deck for a distance. He exclaimed, Conqueror Hockey. But Shazher Ching did not answer him, but shouted, Illusion. Gold binding. It was also branded into Jack's head by the augmented illusion, and Jack felt that he couldn't move and was bound. Jack, your end is here. After doing this, Shazher Ching roared suddenly, controlled Susanoo with all his strength, and the 8 knives stabbed at Jack sharply at the same time. Bastard, do you think you can beat me like this, naive? Jack broke free from the enhanced illusion in a second. Let me tell you how powerful the 3 plagues are. Then, he turned into a long-haired mammoth with blonde hair, stepped on the big boat under his feet, and collided fiercely with Susanoo. Boom! At this moment, the 4 sides lost their voices, the sea trembled, and the terrifying shock wave blasted Enel and the others away. The port side of the summer ship exploded directly, and Anna, Zoro, and Zeppelu were snorted and blasted into the summer ship. Maybe only Tezzolo is better. He was only shaken back against the going wall without any injuries. Gia, you dare to fight head-to-head with the people under the banner of the 4 emperors, I like this kind of courage. Well, count me Tezzolo serving you once. Tezzolo looked at Shazher Ching, who was still having a terrifying head-to-head confrontation with Jack, and showed a meaningful and hideous smile. Jack, go back to me. Shazher Ching roared and mobilized all the chakras to pour in one blow. The power of the 8-armed Shira suddenly increased greatly, and with a bang, Jack's huge mammoth was slammed down. Boom! The ship immediately exploded a large hole, sawdust flying around, and the surrounding cracks were dense, like broken glass that was still stuck together, very terrifying. And Jack fell directly into the sea. The seawater gurgled into the ship, and suddenly the ship sank a lot. Master Jack. Seeing this scene, Jack's subordinates couldn't help but startled and exclaimed. Before worrying about your Lord Jack, take a look at your own situation. Enel and Tezzolo suddenly came over, extremely scary. 100 million volts. Brontosaurus. Enel tapped the thunder drum on his left shoulder, and the thunder and lightning all over his body released a terrifying thunder dragon. As for Tezzolo, with a wave of his hand, a wave of going rolled out like flowing water. With the absolute advantage of crushing, he wrapped his opponent in, without giving him any chance to break free. Start a pair of writing wheels. Pirates, start with a pair of writing wheels. 38kanshu.com has the fastest update speed. Chapter 150 never paid attention to it. Enel's opponent is even worse. 100 million volts of lightning, even Kaido would have to shiver a few times. He was just a real striker, and after only 2 seconds of screaming, he was completely wiped out in the thunder and lightning. Enel has relieved a lot of pressure on Anna and the others. The rest of the real type came with pride. I thought this was a normal crushing round, but who would have thought that their boss, Jack, was defeated by Shajirching. And these real fights are not the opponents under Shajirching at all. They almost feel like they have been splashed with cold water. It is really cold from head to toe. Looking at Enel, who was surrounded by thunder and lightning, and Tesoro, who was like Emperor going, and Anna who had an icy look, like the Queen of the Earth, they couldn't help but swallow. They know that their end has come. And Momonga, who watched all this from a distance, was even more surprised. They really did not expect that Shajirching would be so tyrannical. That is one of the 3 disasters of the dignified 4 emperors. He is one of the 3 strongest men under his command. He is one of the pillars of the beast pirates. The whole sea is famous. However, he was defeated by Shajirching like this. How powerful is Shajirching now? Momonga originally thought that in the end, the 2 of them would lose both in the fight, and they could profit from the fisherman. Now it seems that the fisherman who gets the ghost benefits. With Shajirching's strength, if they want the fisherman to benefit, they may put themselves in. Then we have this mission, can we still do it? Megans looked at Momonga and asked. There is also hesitation on his face. PFF'd. Just when Megans was hesitating, Shajirching suddenly fell on the surface of the sea, spit out a big mouthful of blood, and fell directly into the bottom of the sea. Seeing this scene, Momonga's eyes lit up immediately, without any hesitation, and gave the order to besiege Shajirching and the others. Just now because Shajirching defeated Jack, they were fierce and fierce. Now that Shajirching is also seriously injured, and he can't even stand still, and fell directly into the middle, then why did they have any hesitation? Shajirching's state, didn't he clearly tell them that he is very weak now? If this strength is not contained now, then his threat in the future can be imagined, and it will become a huge disaster on this sea. Momonga doesn't want to have tigers. Besides Enel, they are here. Damn guy, don't be too proud of me. If you dare to kill me, Kaido-sama won't let you go. A certain real roared at Enel in panic. He now only hopes that the name Kaido can still be a little deterrent. Ha ha ha, you won't let me go. Enel laughed when he heard the words, and then suddenly rushed forward. The gun of going directly pierced his chest. Enel said, our captain even injured Jack. Do you think we still care about Kaido's revenge? You will regret it. The man fell. He looked at Enel and said fiercely. It's a pity that you can't see that scene. Enel disdained Isho and was about to kill him completely when the starboard side of the summer suddenly exploded. How could Marine be here? And CP0, why would they know we're here? Tesoro immediately followed the attack direction and saw Momonga and those CP0s. Start a pair of writing wheels. Pirates, start with a pair of writing wheels. 38kanshu.com has the fastest update speed. Chapter 151 Marine Vice Admiral is nothing more than that. Doflamingo. Anna gritted her teeth suddenly, extremely cold. What, Doflamingo? You mean these guys were sent by Doflamingo? Enel was startled when he heard this. He looked at Anna in disbelief and asked, isn't that guy a pirate? Marine is still within my acceptable range, why is CP0 here too? Enel came to Blue Sea with Shajirching. He has learned a lot of knowledge. He clearly knows that only Tenryubito can mobilize CP0, but what does this have to do with Doflamingo? Anna said word by word, that guy used to be Tenryubito, and he has news of Tenryubito's national treasure in his hand, so even Gorosei 5 elders are threatened by him. Interesting, looks like we're in a bit of a dangerous situation. Tezzolo showed a dangerous smile. Looking at the rapidly approaching warship, he looked at Anna and asked, "Fight or flight now?" "Back off. Don't fight them head-on." At this moment, Shajur-Ching's voice suddenly came from the sea. I saw him stepping on the sea weakly and looking at Anna. When Anna saw this, she immediately stretched out a tentacle and pulled Shajur-Ching up. "Hurry back, the opponent has 5 vice admiral, and the leader is that guy from Momanga. We shouldn't fight head-to-head now." Shajur-Ching knew their situation very well. "Got it." Anna nodded, and immediately went to control the ship to transfer money to escape. "Thunder Hunter, do you think you can leave today? Stay." Seeing this, Momanga rushed over directly on the moon step. Not only that, but the rest of the vice admiral also came on the moon step. And faster than Momanga and the others are the CP0 people. They faced the summer, and they split out several sword waves and shrouded them, to completely shoot them down on this sea area. HMPH, don't let me be presumptuous. Marine, don't think you can keep us. Dare to challenge provocate the majesty of God, then let you know, God's terror. Enel snorted coldly, and then he knocked on the thunder drum on his shoulder at the same time, and then shouted, "Thunder descend." Boom. A rolling thundercloud suddenly gathered above the sky, and there was a violent explosion of thunder and lightning. Then, aim at Momanga and they will blast down a manic thunderbolt, utterly devastating. Not good. When Momanga and others saw this scene, they couldn't help being startled, and they hurriedly stepped on the moon step to dodge. Boom. Bang. The terrifying thunder and lightning blew the seawater out of terrifying pits, and the waves splashed endlessly. Even the summer number was slapped up and down, and it could be overturned at any time. Even Momanga and their warships were slapped and banged, and the seamen above were shaken and could not stand still. HMPH, I thought Marine Vice Admiral was so powerful, but it turned out to be nothing more than that. If so, let me give you some more. Seeing this scene, Enel disdained Isho, and then he banged the thunder drum on his left shoulder again. In an instant, thunder and lightning erupted, turned into a ferocious thunder dragon, and rushed away with a roar. Thinking that this level of thunder and lightning can do nothing to us. Don't underestimate people, bastard, let you see the strength of Vice Admiral of the Marine Headquarters. Meggins made a sound, and he drew his sword out, and a terrifying sharp breath broke out, that is, several sword waves slammed into all the thunder and lightning. Start a pair of riding wheels, pirates, start with a pair of riding wheels. 38kanshu.com has the fastest update speed. Chapter 152 Today is your last day. Thorn. The lightning that landed on that day was cut off, and there was still energy left to fly into the air, and then it exploded. Then, in the face of the terrifying thunder dragon, he even slashed his sword again and slashed out a sharper sword wave, colliding with each other. Crack. But what shocked Meggins was that thunder dragon shattered his sword wave in an instant, and he was about to be swallowed up in one turn. Have a break. Momanga gave a loud shout and was ready to rescue. Won't let you succeed, Momanga Vice Admiral. Tezzolo waved his hand, and a piece of going flew out, turning into a huge going shield to block Momanga. Bang. Momanga was blocked, but, Momanga was blocked, it doesn't mean that no one can rescue Meggins. Near Brontosaurus, get out of here. I saw a middle-aged man with a Dalmatian head on the top half of his face. He wrapped hockey in his hands and directly shook the thunder dragon with the moon step. Ah! His power was so great that he actually blocked the thunder dragon. Vice Admiral at Marine Headquarters Dalmatia. Shajur-Ching reported his name in a very solemn tone. The situation is worse than I thought, leave now. Shajur-Ching urged Anna again. Momanga versus Tezzolo. Dalmatia blocks Enel. The remaining 3 Vice Admiral, Daz Bones, they can't deal with it. Not to mention that there are still a group of CP0s staring at them. Go, where else do you want to go? A cold voice suddenly came from behind Shajur-Ching. The CP0 member with the red mask actually, shaved, behind Shajur-Ching, and it was a Shigan finger pistol who wanted to kill Shajirching on the spot. PFF. Shajirching was pierced through her body without any strength to fight back. Anna's jaw was completely cracked, and a terrifying mud fist blasted out, but the red-faced masked CP0 member had already left. Bang! The next moment, Shajirching suddenly turned into a broken piece of wood. Shajirching appeared on the other end again, with cold sweat all over his head, and said, "Come on, or else, all will be explained here today." "Enel, use Lei Ying," Shajirching ordered. "I still want to leave, I'm afraid you are dreaming. Stay with me today." Dalmisia stomped heavily into the air, rushing over like a missile. Tezzolo immediately blocked, but Dalmisia was too flexible. He bypassed Tezzolo directly and rushed in front of Shajirching. Armament Hockey was covered with sharp claws, and he was about to pierce his head directly. "Do you think you will succeed?" When Anna saw this, she let out an icy roar, and slapped it with a huge and hard palm. "Who told you that my target is Shajirching?" However, Dalmisia shaved again and disappeared in front of this palm, and then appeared behind Anna. "My target is you, Anna, the daughter of the Mudflow. Kill you, destroy the rudder, and you will have no escape." Dalmisia punched proudly, but Anna had no idea that Dalmisia's target was her, and it was too late to react. Not good. Enel and Tezzolo couldn't help being surprised at the same time. Enel turned around and wanted to rescue. And Tezzolo didn't move, not because he didn't want to save, but because Momonga was already charging towards him. He couldn't take care of himself at all. Start a pair of writing wheels, pirates, start with a pair of writing wheels. 38kanshu.com has the fastest update speed. Chapter 153 pushed into a corner. "You guy, where are your eyes looking?" Enel, Megan's also deceived himself like an arrow from a string, covered with a sword armament, and stabbed Enel in the back of the heart. What? Suddenly being attacked from behind, Enel didn't think of such a thing, and it was too late to react. Now, not to mention rescuing Anna, he can't protect himself. Bang! Dalmisia's blow was blocked. It was Dazbones, who turned into a saber and did his best to block the blow. As the price, he was pushed back a long distance, and the corners of his mouth were bleeding. See. A large hole automatically appeared in Enel's body, and Megan's long sword was completely pierced. Bang! Momonga was blocked by Tezzolo's going shield, and he immediately retreated after a single blow. But before Tezzolo could breathe a sigh of relief, two terrifying sword waves attacked again, knocking him back straight away. "Tezzoro, wake up!" Momonga suddenly rushed forward. The long sword was emitting cold light, extremely terrifying. Tezzolo was shocked, and quickly guarded himself the going armor. Bang! Momonga's blow, he blocked it. But before he could react, there were two more CP0 people in front of him. Rokushiki, 6 styles, busters. There were terrifying fluctuations in their fists. Tezzolo's pupils shrank. He wanted to summon the going giant to resist, but it was too late. PFF'd. Going's armor shattered directly, and Tezzolo's eyes were protruding. The unimaginable force broke several of his ribs in an instant. He smashed the deck all the way, leaving a scary sawdust scar before falling into the ocean. Not good. Seeing this scene, Enel immediately shouted badly, and a terrifying thunderbolt was released all over his body, trying to force Momonga and the others back in an instant. But, ghost cut. Momonga actually appeared behind Enel and stood up. PFF'd. Enel's unbelievable eyes. A huge wound suddenly opened on his chest, and blood spurted out. Mix. Before Enel turned to fight back in anger, he groaned again, and the lightning on his body disappeared instantly. The best way to deal with Logia's abilities is Seastone. The red-faced masked man exclaimed, seeing a small blood-red hole behind Enel, with a Seastone bullet embedded in it. Asshole. Enel gritted his teeth and roared, but all his power seemed to be deprived by that Seastone, and he couldn't use any power at all. Thunder Hunter, your doom is here. Meggans looked at the weak Shajur-Ching, Anna who was protecting him, and Daz Bones with blood on the corner of his mouth, showing a triumphant smile. As for Zoro, he has already jumped into the sea to save Zoro. Bastard, are you going to stop here? Enel gritted his teeth unwillingly. Cough, really, I didn't expect my Thunder Hunter to have such an embarrassing day. Very good, let Doflamingo remember it for me, sooner or later, I will seek revenge from him for this revenge. Shajur-Ching suddenly stood up with support, but she couldn't stop gasping. Why, I know I can't escape, so are you planning to surrender? Seeing this, Dalmisia laughed out loud, full of jokes. Start a pair of writing wheels, pirates, start with a pair of writing wheels. 38kanshu.com has the fastest update speed. Chapter 154 One Husband is the One. Surrender. Humph, you really look up to me, Dalmisia Vice Admiral. After the words fell, Shajur-Ching actually broke out a terrifying chakra again, his right eye turned extremely fast, and Susanoo appeared again. When he pulled out his long sword, he slammed it out with a single blow. Momonga and the others couldn't help being surprised, and quickly backed away. Enel, Anna, take them away. While Momonga and the others were retreating, Shajur-Ching grabbed Enel, took out the seastone bullet from his body, and shouted at them both. Natsu-sama, then you. Anna was shocked and was interrupted by Shajur-Ching before she finished speaking. I won't be caught, tell that person for me, don't worry about me. Let's go, before I come back, let Gills and Seymour get things done. Shajur-Ching shouted through gritted teeth. There was blood flowing out from between his teeth, and blood was dripping from his eyes. Seeing this, Anna was heartbroken, and after shouting, Lord Nachi, take care, she controlled the shot of fully open fire and drive away. Do you think you can still escape, Thunder Hunter? Upon seeing this, Dalmisia shouted, and after that, she rushed towards Anna and the others. Then give it a try. Get out of here. Akina. Shajur-Ching roared wildly, overloaded the writing wheel, squeezed chakra frantically, and blasted out like a sword. Don't be arrogant. How could Dalmisia be afraid of Shajur-Ching's sickness, and he punched out of the air. But after the real fight, his face changed. PFF'd. Dalmisia spat out a mouthful of blood and flew out like a sandbag. I won't let you be presumptuous. When the rest of the people saw this, they all rushed towards Shajur-Ching. Boom. Boom. Bang. 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 Suddenly, all kinds of terrifying attacks hit Susanoo's body. Susanoo was constantly shattered, Shajur-Ching vomited blood, and his breath became weaker and weaker. Thunder Hunter, you can't even protect yourself, you want to protect others. Meggans roared, he wanted to pursue Anna and the others who had already driven a long distance away. I'm here, don't even think about going there. Shajur-Ching seemed to fall down at any time, but he just didn't fall down. Instead, he manipulated Susanoo and blocked Momonga and the others. No matter how violent Momonga and the others attacked, Shajur-Ching just stopped them all. Let them just watch Anna and the others sail away to the end of the sea. Open to me. Seeing Anna and the others had reached the end of the sea level, Shajur-Ching suddenly glared angrily, and the 8-armed Shira shook Momonga and the others away. Then, I saw him slashing at the warship with one knife, and the other 7 knives were aimed at different people and attacked. Not good. When Momonga saw Shajur-Ching's plan, she couldn't help but be shocked. Don't let him succeed, Momonga exclaimed in shock. He hurriedly dodged a knife that came towards him and rushed towards the warship. The warship was destroyed and they were cold. The rest of the people have the same plan, it will be really cool without the warship. But they didn't see it, Shajur-Ching laughed. His Susanoo suddenly disappeared. Standing on the sea, he looked at Momonga and the others with a dazed expression, and said angrily, let me all lie down. He stretched his finger to the sky, sent out a thunderbolt, and rushed into the dark cloud that Enel had previously created the thunderbolt. Then, there is no sound. Start a pair of writing wheels, pirates, start with a pair of writing wheels. 38kanshu.com has the fastest update speed. Chapter 155 Lay Dun Kilin. What is this going to do? Momonga and the others looked at it in a daze. A thunder and lightning rushed into the dark clouds, and then there was no sound. Is this funny? That's it, you want them all to lie down. I'm afraid I'm dreaming. Hey, it's a mystery. Megan snorted coldly, and then wanted to pursue Anna and the others. Lay dun, Kilin. Shajar Ching's voice sounded again. Boom. The next moment, as if Tiangong was angry, rolling thunder and lightning suddenly exploded, illuminating the faces of Momonga and the others. Roar. The head of a terrifying thunder and lightning unicorn protruded from the thundercloud, and then it ripped apart the space and landed. No. Momonga and the others couldn't help shouting in horror. The horror of this thunder and lightning was beyond their imagination. However, they didn't have time to react and dodge. Armed. They chose armament hockey at the same time, and they were completely submerged in a sea of lightning. The warship was instantly shattered. Even Jack's ship, not far away, has also turned into a jerk. Boom. The sea directly exploded a 100-meter hole, and the terrifying tide surged wildly, raging in all directions. PFF'd. Shajar Ching suddenly spit out a big mouthful of blood, closed his eyes, and fell into the sea full of thunder and lightning. During the battle just now, he had already overdrawn chakra, his body was already riddled with holes, and his vitality was bleak. It's been a miracle that it has survived until now. Have sailed far away from the sea. How's it going? What's the result of the battle? Anna asked, heading towards Enel, who was being probed. It's over. The Marines used armament hockey for defense, and with the seawater as a buffer, the injuries weren't too serious, but... Speaking of this, Enel hesitated, but seeing the urgent look on Anna's face, he continued, I can no longer detect the life breath of Lord Naz. What? Hearing Enel's words, Anna was so frightened that she collapsed onto the deck. Her face was full of disbelief, and her delicate body was trembling. Can't sense Shajar Ching's life breath, doesn't that mean? Anna didn't dare to think about it anymore. Impossible, absolutely impossible, how could Natsu-sama? Anna kept shaking her head and said, refusing to accept what Enel said. We're not completely out of danger yet, and since the Marines weren't hurt much, if they find out we're still here, they're bound to catch up. The plan now is to quickly evacuate to a safe place, and then send additional staff to find the trace of Lord Naz. Tezzolo opened his mouth and said something a little out of place. Are you going to watch Lord Naz die? Now is the best chance. When she heard this, Anna instantly exploded. What do you think, Lord Enel? Tezzolo ignored Anna's scolding and turned to look at Enel. Enel couldn't help laughing bitterly, shaking his head and saying nothing. But looking at his expression, you can tell that he agrees with Tezzolo's words. If we catch up now, if we are entangled by Marine again, do you think we can get away with our current state? In that case, wouldn't it be a waste of your Excellency Naz's hard work? An LT, P and GT. Looking at Shajar Ching's face, Tezzolo resisted the disappointment in his heart and said again. Start a pair of writing wheels, pirates, start with a pair of writing wheels. 38kanshu.com has the fastest update speed. Chapter 156 The bounty has risen again. Giggle. Anna's fist clucked. How could she not know that Tezzolo was right? However, let him give up the best search opportunity like this, and let Shajar Ching fall into crisis, how can she do it? I see. Let's go, and after we go back, we will send more people to secretly look for Lord Naz. When Anna stood up again, she had become indifferent. Tezzolo nodded in satisfaction after seeing this. 2 days later. The Beast Pirates. Jack, with your strength, you actually failed. Besides, you lost your troops and lost your ships. The head of the 3 plagues, Yan Jajin, looked at Jack who had returned alone, and said a little shocked. Hey, it's really useless, Jack, it seems as Jin said, you underestimate others. The Plague Queen is talking sarcastic words on the side. Jack didn't get angry, didn't refute anything, just looked at Kaido and asked, "I'm sorry, Lord Kaido, I lost. I didn't expect that we even underestimated this Thunder Hunter, and even you went out in person. He, this newcomer is arrogant enough." Kaido didn't blame Jack, but said with a cold smile. Jin heard the words. "I heard that this guy was sniped by Marine and directly blocked the 5 headquarters vice admiral including Momonga, Dalmesia, and 2 CP0 members with 1 person, creating something for his subordinates. A chance to escape. Quote. He is more powerful than we thought. However, now that his life and death are uncertain, even if we want to capture him and kill the chickens and show the monkeys, it is very difficult to do it. Wait, if he's not dead, he'll come out one day." Kaido took a sip of wine, his eyes suddenly sharpened. At that time, it was his death. The majesty of the Emperor, no one can provocate and destroy. Marine Headquarters, Marineford. It's unbelievable, Momonga, you personally led the team, plus Dalmesia, Megans and other 5 Vice Admiral, you can't help a seriously injured Thunder Hunter. This guy's strength is too terrifying. Sengoku looked at the 5 Momonga and said with a very solemn expression. The other day, he thought it was shocking enough that Natsu could beat Doflamingo. Unexpectedly, in the blink of an eye, not only did he defeat Drought Jack, who offered a bounty of 758 million Bailey. Moreover, in the case of serious injuries, he dragged the 5 headquarters vice admiral and injured them. Looks like I'm still underestimating him, Sengoku said, and then winked at Momonga and the others, motioning them to step back first. The latter 5 immediately withdrew. It seems that it is necessary to pay close attention to this guy, Sengoku said in his heart. At the end, he added, of course, if still alive. Seriously injured fell into the sea, only 2 results. Either survive and reappear, or be buried in the belly of a fish and disappear from the world. My god, this Thunder Hunter is a bunker, and even the Drought Jack under the 4th Emperor Kaido is not his opponent. How strong is he? The bounty is 790 million Bailey, and the speed of this bounty update is too fast. How long has it been since then? It's almost 800 million. The sea is boiling again because of Shajir-Ching's bounty. Start a pair of writing wheels, pirates, start with a pair of writing wheels. 38kanshu.com has the fastest update speed. Chapter 157. The bounty has risen again. Shajir-Ching's record is more than a bunker, it's simply against the sky. For a newcomer, in less than half a year, he went from a nameless name to a famous name in the sea, and it took him only half a year. It took him half a year to accomplish what others may not have achieved in more than 10 years. Thor Enel, bounty 315 million Bailey. Daughter of the Mudslide, a bounty of 278 million Bailey. Quickly kill Daz Bones, with a bounty of 88 million Baileys. Pirate Hunter Roronoa, Zoro, with a bounty of 15 million Baileys. Because Shajir-Ching's reward order is so dazzling that many people ignore Enel's reward order. But the strange thing is that in the past few years, there has not been a reward order from Tezzolo. Humph, there's nothing that money can't solve. There's nothing like a bounty. Since Nachi's life and death are uncertain now, I will go back to the New World first. When he comes back, I will come back again. My bet with him still works. Tezzolo actually left at this juncture. This guy is really abominable. Seymour clenched his fists as he looked at Tezzolo, who was leaving gracefully. Okay, in the next days, while looking for Lord Nachi, our strength will also improve. Next time, we will definitely be able to do better. Anna made a development plan, and all of them returned to the Sky Island base again. Kaido, Doflamingo, and Marine, you better make sure that Shajir-Ching is okay. Otherwise, the old man's fist is not polite. On the Moby Dick, after Whitebeard got the information from Anna, even though he was anxious, he still waited patiently. But there is no doubt that if Shajir-Ching never appeared, Whitebeard, the strongest man, would let the world know what it means to be afraid. It's amazing. Even Jack was defeated by you, and the marine I dispatched was wounded by you. Furfur, if you appear in the sea again, the first thing you will do is probably to get revenge on me. I am really looking forward to it. Who is better than me, who has completely mastered the state of awakening, and you, who has those strange eyes? Doflamingo awaits Shadger Ching's revenge. He has never been a fearful person. So, where is Shadger Ching, who has made so many people miss her now? This day. In the first half of the Great Route, in the windless zone, near the coast of Nine Snake Island, known as the Daughter Country, there was a sea king who excreted a little. Soon after, a pale corpse floated on the sea. This corpse does not feel any breath of life, as if it is really dead. Where can there be a person? Go and see. The guards of Nine Snake Island also quickly noticed the corpse, and hurriedly called someone to check it. This woman is so miserable, her chest is so flat. And, after soaking in the sea for a long time, there are mushrooms growing between the legs. She seems to have lost her breath. She seems to be a dead person. Did you fish it out? Or just throw it away? The Nine Snake Island warriors who came to salvage all thought so in their hearts. What are you doing? You dare to desert while on duty, is it Itchy Skin again? A woman with an incomparably large head, long green hair, and a spitting blood snake letter walked over, her face full of ill will, and beside him was a black leopard. This woman is none other than the younger sister of Boa Hancock, the emperor of the Nine Snakes Island, the one with the power of the cobra form, Boa Sandersonia. Start a pair of writing wheels, pirates, start with a pair of writing wheels. 38kanshu.com has the fastest update speed. Chapter 158 made into a sculpture. Lord Boa Sandersonia, no, because we found this guy. All the female warriors of Nine Snake Island were startled when they heard the green-haired woman's words, and then pointed to the corpse behind them and others in defense. Oh, we are coming to Nine Snake Island again. Let me see what kind of girl she is. Hearing this, Boa Sandersonia immediately showed a look of interest, and immediately looked behind these female warriors. Then, the moment she looked at the past, her pupils froze for a moment, and then slowly enlarged. Good, good. Boa Sandersonia suddenly laughed, spitting out snake letters and laughing. The laugh made people flustered and incomparably infiltrated. You take this man back into the sculpture room and make him a sculpture for me. Boa Sandersonia's eyes were full of hatred, and she gritted her teeth. She said in her heart, although I don't know where you are from. But if you want to blame it, you are a man. Our Nine Snake Island is a man's hell, here you have only one dead end. Yes. Boa Sandersonia's orders, these female warriors naturally followed. Then, they carried the corpse back and began to prepare the sculpture. So, who is this corpse? It was none other than Shadger Ching that Anna and the others were looking for. At this moment, don't look at Shadger Ching's body, there is no sign of life, but his consciousness is still there. Am I so miserable to be made into a sculpture? The house leak happens to rain overnight. In order to save my willful life, the system exhausted its power and went into hibernation. Alas, it is estimated that I won't be able to wake up for more than half a year. Shadger Ching can't control his body now, because his consciousness is too weak. He was so weak that he only had a little consciousness, and he was only a few steps away from death. Why did Boa Sandersonia make a sculpture of this man? I really don't understand. Hey, we don't need to ask about Lord Boa Sandersonia, we just do it. In a daze, Shadger Ching heard these two voices, and then he felt that he was covered with something. Then, a heavy cold feeling completely wrapped him. Hey, do I really have to stay in the sculpture for so long? Shadger Ching is not calm anymore, this is too ruthless. Maid, you all remember the people of Nine Snake Island, don't let the labor and capital come out, otherwise, I'll see how I retaliate against you. Shadger Ching scolded in his consciousness, a big pirate with a bounty of nearly 700 million, but he turned into a sculpture in the end. What a joke. I don't know how long it took. Shajirching suddenly felt that he was suspended, and then, he felt a chilling air, and there was an extremely bright feeling in front of him. From time to time, there is also the sound of the roar of the beast. These people, shouldn't they have put me in the arena and pilgrimage site of the Amazon lily on the Nine-Snake Island? Shajirching combined his own memories and guessed in his heart. In fact, as Shajirching guessed, he was indeed fixed in the arena. That is, in the original book, Luffy and Boa Sandersonia, the two sisters Boa Marie Gordon fought on the huge rooftop. Start a pair of writing wheels, pirates, start with a pair of writing wheels. 38kanshu.com has the fastest update speed. Chapter 159 The concubine is so beautiful. The Empress of Nine-Snake Island, Boa Hancock, is now sitting on the 99th steps of the rooftop. She looked at Shajirching, who was cast into a sculpture, and a deep hatred flashed in her indifferent and arrogant eyes. Well done, Sandersonia, as a man should do. Boa Hancock said to Boa Sandersonia next to him. Yes, elder sister. Hearing this, Boa Sandersonia heaved a sigh of relief and replied. She was afraid that Boa Hancock would accuse her of acting indiscriminately. Have you checked the identity of this guy? Who is it? If the identity is more famous, that's the best. Boa Hancock asked again, the hatred in his eyes was even stronger. Boa Sandersonia replied, not yet, I'll check it out later, I should be able to give the results soon. Well, let's go. Boa Hancock nodded and said solemnly. With the help of observation hockey, Shajirching probably understood their words. Hurry up and investigate, it's best to bring Anna here, so that I may be able to get out. Shajirching didn't want to stay in the sculpture just like that. Boa Sandersonia led the order to retreat to investigate the identity of Shajirching. And beside Hancock, a short old woman with big lips suddenly came out with a snake-shaped cane. Hancock, you are so reckless. The man was made into a sculpture without even investigating his identity. What if he was a strong man? Do you want to bring disaster to the Nine-Snake Island? An LT, P and GT. How dare this old woman dare to talk like this, Hancock? You know, in the entire Nine-Snake Island, everyone is in awe of the feeling, and no one has ever dared to talk back to Hancock. Hey, mother-in-law, you don't need to talk too much, the concubine knows her mind and body. Besides, the current emperor of Nine-Snake Island is now a concubine. You, a retired person, don't have to worry so much. Hearing this, Boa Hancock squinted at the old woman named Granny Za, and said with a proud look on her face. Hancock, you are so foolish, one day it will bring disaster to the Nine-Snake Island. Hearing Boa Hancock's words, my mother-in-law stomped her feet in a hurry and shouted angrily. No, concubine will not bring disaster to Nine-Snake Island. If you want to ask why. Having said this, Boa Hancock suddenly lowered his waist, pointed at his mother-in-law and said proudly, because my concubine is the most beautiful woman in the world. Seeing Boa Hancock's appearance, her mother-in-law couldn't help but sighed again, then shook her head and left. Boa Hancock doesn't care, she will. As the former emperor of Amazon Lily, she has a responsibility to protect Amazon Lily Island. In the sculpture not far away, Shajirching felt all this, and he sighed in consciousness, what a charming and proud woman. As expected of an empress, her charm is too strong. Not to mention a man, even a woman will bow down under her pomegranate skirt. Boa Sandersonia's efficiency is very high, but within 3 days, she found out Shajirching's identity. But after knowing Shajirching's identity, she was really taken aback. Start a pair of writing wheels, pirates, start with a pair of writing wheels. 38kanshu.com has the fastest update speed. The first chapter 60. Please don't blame her. There was a thud in her heart at that time, she didn't dare to neglect, and hurriedly reported the news to Boa Hancock. She knew that, if not, the Amazon Lily could suffer a major disaster. Because among Shajirqing's subordinates, one Enel has a flying ship. The windless belt can't stop them at all. HMPH, what about the Thunder Hunter? They blocked the news to me, but I want to see how they found out about my 9 Snake Island. But after listening to Boa Sandersonia's report, Boa Hancock didn't take Shajirqing's identity to heart at all. Sister, is it really appropriate to do this? In case Boa Sandersonia found out the identity of Shajirqing, she felt a little panic in her heart. That is the big pirate with a bounty of 790 million Bailey, and even Jack, one of the 3 plagues, was defeated by him. This kind of strength is almost beyond the scope of their 9 Snake Island Amazon Lily, hereinafter referred to as 9 Snake Island. Not to mention that he has a group of subordinates who are not weak. HMPH, just do as I say. As long as the outside world doesn't know about it, who can suspect that they will come to my 9 Snake Island? Boa Hancock snorted coldly and said, Yes, elder sister. Boa Hancock said so. As a subordinate, she can only do it. You Hancock, you are so self-willed, one day you will bring 9 Snake Island into the abyss. Why did my mother-in-law once again hate that iron cannot become steel? HMPH, no, mother-in-law, just wait and see, how could the concubine go wrong? Boa Hancock left with a proud face. Alas! In this regard, the mother-in-law can only sigh, and her face is full of disappointment. She came to Shajirqing's sculpture and said, Hunter of Thunder, don't blame Hancock. If you want to blame Lao Shen. Lao Shen is willing to bear your anger. Just please don't destroy 9 Snake Island. After she finished saying this, she suddenly laughed at herself. What am I talking to a sculpture, can he still hear? People are old, and they really like to go to the doctor in a hurry. After that, she left. If other sculptures, they must not hear her words. But unfortunately, Shajirqing was conscious, so he heard all the words just now. HMPH, forgive her. Think beautifully, I'm not an open-minded person. Shajirqing said consciously. Just when he was about to continue to care about, a voice suddenly came from his mind. Ding! After the host shaker has upgraded kaleidoscope, it has detected overloaded operation, which has caused serious damage to the system. The system is being repaired and upgraded, and the estimated time is 1 year. Then, before Shajirqing was happy, he was silent again. Is this an empty joy? Shajirqing thought in her heart. He thought the system was fine, but it turned out to be such a message. It actually takes a year, how can it take so long? Could it be that the consequences of overloading are so serious? Shajirqing was really shocked. He never imagined that his actions would cause such serious consequences. But how does he know that if it is normal overload operation, of course it will not be so serious? But the key is that in order to stop Momonga and the others, Shajirqing has overdrawn his strength when chakra has bottomed out. According to the normal law, he should die directly. But in order to save him, the system used the few powers to keep him alive. So, it will take so long. Start a pair of writing wheels, pirates, start with a pair of writing wheels. 38kanshu.com has the fastest update speed.